Every cow on the farm behind me is lame, apart from this one. This is the Hoof GP.
And I won't let it rush when I see you dance, and the moment comes when I fall and time goes slow. I fall into you.
Oh, geez. I just realised what I said in the intro, I got it the wrong way around. Every cow on this farm has got no problem with their feet. They're all fantastic, and that's the story for the vast majority of the farms that we visit. And sometimes I worry that I show you so many lame cows that you think there's a huge, huge problem with the farms that I visit. But in reality, it's just not true. Most of them are like this cow behind me right now. They are fantastically well kept and very good on their feet. But when it comes to this video, we are looking at a cow that does have a serious problem, and it's this little lady here. The cow behind me is in fact the only cow that is lame here on this farm today. She's sore on that front left foot. Hopefully you guys didn't need me to tell you that, and we've left her right until the end so that the rest of the cows could get straight back to the feed fence and back to their beds where they really would prefer to be. Anyway, she is here right now. We're going to get her in the crush, get that front left foot in the air and see what's up with this little cow. You see, as I walk around here, see how she's putting her head up every time she steps on that foot? She puts her head up to try and take the weight off that front left foot because her head weighs so much, and the cantilever effect doubles down on the weight, and she will do anything she can to get her weight off that foot. By throwing her head up, she alleviates some of the weight bearing from that hoof every time she steps. She's trying to get away from the pain, in other words. Anyway, she's nearly in the crush, so hopefully in a few minutes there will be much less pain for her to deal with. By the way, we're going to talk about Calm Cow, the app, the podcasty type, my whole story thing. Usually I would work on the back feet first, but I know that front left foot is sore, so we're going to work on that to give the block time to heal. No, give the block time to cure, whilst we trim the other 3 feet. If that makes sense. So from first impressions, what is obvious is that she's had her feet looked after. You can still see there's modelling from when she was trimmed a few months ago. But a few months in cow terms, in cow terminology, in cow years, cow months, in cow months, a few months is quite a long time in the world of hoof trimming. I'm really not saying it. I really don't know where the problem is right now. What we're going to do is we're going to start with a routine trim, which is what we always do, and hopefully the problem will materialise and become obvious. If not, we do have a trick up our sleeve by using hoof tester. By using hoof testers. Yeah, I always get it out in the end. Now, genuinely, still can't quite see the problem. If anybody can see it at this stage, let me know in the comments, but be truthful. Come on, guys. This is a truthful community. If you can see the problem right now, or at least you have an inkling of what that might be, then let me know in the comments right now. And as I've sat down, I'm pretty sure I know where the problem is. This hoof horn feels perfect. A lot of time farmers will ask me how the hoof horn is it soft, is it hard? And you kind of want it in between. Too hard and there's no forgiveness in that sole of the cow. So she's going to feel every little undulation on the floor. Too soft and the hoof horn wears away far too quickly, which, believe you me, can be a major problem. So if we kind of do a fly round of our hoof right now, I think the problem is really obvious, to be honest. You guys let me know right now if you can see it now, because it is much more apparent than it was when we first picked it up. Looking at the hoof now, that is a routine trim completed. Her feet are perfectly well balanced. If we look side from side, we can see they're completely level. There's no undulations, and the weight will be spread evenly between both feet. Looking down from her heel to the toe, you can see that both sole levels are exactly the same. So right now, if this was a routine trim, we'd be done. But this isn't a routine trim. She does have that major issue. Let's see if you got it right. This is where the problem is. So this is called her abaxial wall. This is her white line, and it goes all the way around here and up here, which is the axial wall. Axial meaning towards the middle. Well, medial actual means towards the middle, but axial is the axis running through the hoof like this. And her problem is on the axial wall right here. If you can see this dark portion of hoof horn, this lets me know that that is underrun. So I'm going to peel away this layer, and it will become even more obvious than it is now. For the sake of you guys, we're going to put this nozzle in here, and you'll get a much clearer view of the problem.
But first, I've got something I want to share with you.
This is where I grew up, in southwest Scotland, in amongst this beautiful landscape. I know how lucky I am. I absolutely love it. And this is my calm space, if you like. If you're anything like me and struggle to wind down after a chaotic day at work, or the hustle and bustle of everyday life really gets to you and you can't chill out, then this is what calms me down. We're creating an app, an audio app called Calm Cow. I'm going to delve into my past and tell you guys stories of me, my brothers and sisters growing up on the family farm here in Wigtonshire, surrounded by these amazing seascapes. If your life's busy and chaotic like mine is, you maybe struggle to get into a good headspace and relax after a chaotic day at work. Well, Calm Cow should hopefully help that. It's a space where you can completely immerse yourselves in the Scottish landscapes and my life here in southwest Scotland. If you want to find out more about Calm Cow, listen to the tester version and just get a little bit more information. The link is at the top of the description below this video right now. For the past couple of months, I've been sitting in front of my desk, reminiscing and talking to the Calm Cow app for you guys. I've loved every second of it so far. I've really enjoyed it far more than I ever thought I could. And hopefully you guys do too. The website will also tell you about how hopefully the Calm Cow app will be helping cows around the world to walk better every single day.
And with that rather major wardrobe malfunction out of the way, it's back to this cow's axial wall lesion.
Problems like this are notoriously hard to fix because they go so high up the wall horn. This wall horn is growing at about 7mm a month. So straight away I've already carved away at least 2 months worth of hoof horn from this wall. So tough. Remember, this is what is holding up the whole body of the cow. It's not this part. People commonly think this is what's holding up the cow. It's not. It's this part here, because everything inside is suspended from this hoof wall, which is why it is so tough. If we lift this up here, the problem actually extends all the way up here, and that's why it's so sore. So we need to take this part out of her hoof to get her on the road to recovery.
Working on this frontal wall is exceptionally difficult. The hoof horn is very, very hard indeed. Access is limited, it's dark under there, and obviously the hoof is upside down. Plus, if you go too high, you're going to cut into the coronet or the hairband, basically where the hair meets the hoof horn, and believe you me, you really don't want to do that. Because of the unusual location of this problem, I have nothing to push against. Usually the hoof is braced against the flap that I move out of the way, but in this case, because we're working on the underside, there's nothing to brace the hoof, meaning that with every swipe of the knife, I'm working against the natural flex of the cow's ankle, making every swipe of the knife more difficult than usual.
It's so tricky getting it into this space, but to be honest, the cow is being really kind to us. She's staying fairly still. But we need to get right up in there. This is the root of the problem, and if we don't fix the root, we only fix what we can see from the base. Well, we've not really fixed anything, have we? So because this wall horn, this dorsal wall, the frontal wall of our hoof is so hard, and now I can see where the separation in the hoof horn is, I'm using a grinder to alleviate the pain in my arms, my wrists, and to speed the whole job up. And then back we come to the finer details. Using the knife, you can see we nearly got rid of all of that separation with the grinder, but I stopped because the feeling isn't obviously quite as fine when you're using the grinder. With the knife you can feel much more easily how tough the horn is or how close to the corium you are. You can see how scared the cows are of us. We've just trimmed this cow and she's come over to say hello while we're trimming her friend. And while she's at it, she's having a quick lick of the crush. It must taste as good as it looks. Oh, this is starting to look really good. I'm so happy with this so far. I say so far, actually, we've just about finished where we need to be with this. So if we look right in here, we can see the small ulcers right on the coronet, the hairline here, and this is disrupting the growth right here. The wall horn grows from the coronet, so if there's any disruption in the growth there, it affects the whole wall all the way down to the ground. It's kind of like if you split an apple at the top and keep pulling it apart, that crack at the top of the apple will split all the way through the apple eventually. Anyway, we're just about finished. Nearly. We're just going to take a little bit more out of this modelling area before we apply this block on here. So here you can see me using the grinder on the hoof. Now I'm not actually doing it to cut away any of the material, I'm just cleaning it up. And if you look from further away, you'll see that almost no hoof is being removed at all, really. That's important because earlier in this video I said I'd finished balancing up and doing the routine hoof trim part of this foot, and that was true. So it was perfect. So I do not want to lower the height of this hoof any more than absolutely necessary in order for this block to be applied. You can see Craig applying this block using BoviBond, and people ask me quite regularly, does it really set that quickly? Yes, it does really set that quickly. It is rock hard in about 1.5 minutes total, but you can let go of it after 5 or 10 seconds. It's already starting to go off. Craig is applying this orange block because it's a polyurethane block, and as I said earlier, this problem is going to take a long time to fix. It's going to take at least 10 months for any remnants of the problem to be invisible, because it'll take 10 months for the whole of that hoof wall to regrow. We are wrapping this hoof because there is a little bit of dermatitis present on this farm, and we don't want that open lesion to get infected in any way and hamper the healing process. Anyway, Craig has now finished wrapping up the hoof, so let's get this little cow out of the crush and see how she's walking now. Now it really is the proof of the pudding, or the proof is in the pudding. Let's see how she's walking now that she's out of the crush. So as we see her walking along here in front of Craig, she's clearly still very sore, but wouldn't you be? Did you see how sore that lesion was? Hopefully though, that block will start taking the weight off that cow's hoof and she will return to full health. This is a problem that does take a lot of care, but luckily for us, it's not a problem that usually gets any worse. Now that the first trim has been initiated and carried out, she should be well on her way to recovery. She'll only need a couple of small trims in the next few months, just to ensure that that healing process is going in the right direction. And hopefully once that's done, rather than her being the only lame cow in the herd, there won't be any within this herd. Guys, this has been the Hoof GP. Thanks very much for watching and supporting the channel. And remember, you can go and check out CamCow by visiting the link right at the top of the description below this video. Catch you later, guys. Bye for now.